Hello everyone, this is Dean, I'm your host. How are you guys? I've not talked to you for a little while there, well, I've been really busy on my music, my musical hobbies, because I'll tell you what, I got me my accordion, I got me a complete set of musical instrument that I like to play. I got harmonica. Now I purchased some like an acoustic type of amplifier. And I have my own microphone. Holy cow, I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'm so happy about that. I'm gonna show that in another video next, maybe within this week. Now I'm gonna tell you what I've been doing. Thank you very much, by the way, for all your comments and your contribution to the channel. I enjoy all of you guys, and I really thank you. I can not imagine how I'm gonna thank you, honestly. So I've decided to maybe share with you some of my musical collection that I would like to play. Some of the musical collection that I would like to play for you for Christmas. So before Christmas time, I'm going to have a little concert that I hope will not bore you, but I'm gonna tell you what I've done today. I went fishing today. Now, I did not want to purchase the South Carolina fishing license, about $75 from $35 from last year. It went up. But because I'm from the Georgia side, they're not gonna give me a South Carolina rate. It went up from $35 to $75. And for me, you know how many fish I can get for $75? I was just thinking. And besides, I will not have really a lot of time to go fish. And for the past year, anyway, I have only gotten maybe little bit amount of fish, not $75 worth of fish. Now, I was about to get started with my reel, my rod and reel, getting it ready. And one of my friends, Mr. Bruce, was telling me, man, the DNR is very strict about that. If you're gonna get caught, they're gonna impound you, basically. I said, so I was so down and very, very down. And he made me really feel bad at first, but you know what? It's better for you to follow rules and regulation, because once you get caught, and then you're gonna have to pay for the penalty, and that's gonna be very embarrassing situation. Now, a good friend of ours there who's been fishing for trout, he's been catching left and right some trout. He's the only one catching for those fishes, and so he just returned it back, even if they are in legal size. Oh, so what he did, he gave me all his fish, and I was not zero though. I was able to get it from him, but really just the thought of not able to feel that, the catch, when you catch a fish, it was not there. I could easily buy it from the store, but it is not the same type of enjoyment. But anyway, he gave me 3. So I gave one to my friend, I'll keep one, and then I gave one to the other people next door to me who has not caught anything. So I'll show you what I have here. This is about 17 inches of fish. So this is gonna be our meal for tonight. Me and my husband, I'm gonna fry this one and he will enjoy it. To me, actually, trout is okay. This is not really my favorite one because it's kind of a little bit mushy. But I think what I'm gonna do is bread it really well and fry it. Now, before we get too far, I'm gonna have to return this back there and then we'll talk, okay? Because it stinks. So I still have to really clean this up after we talk. But I'm gonna talk to you about something like Filipino style. old Filipino style of investment in the Philippines. It's very interesting. What can that be? It's nothing to do with stock market, you know, especially if you're gonna deal with people in the barrio. What in the world is she talking about? Well, it's nothing to do with investment in what we call that cryptocurrency right now, and real estate investment, stock market investment. Yes, some of the Filipinos invest on those. Not a lot of Filipinos would do that, actually. I'm gonna tell you about the investment we have in the barrio style, actually. And it's known to be profitable, but not a lot of Westerners cannot even believe what kind of investment I'm talking about. It's almost like investing your money in the bank, you know. How do we bank in the barrio? Actually, a lot of people in the barrio do not even have any bank account. My mother and my father came from Manila, so they're kind of exposed to that current way or modern type of thinking. So my mom actually has a bank account already, and she introduced us to banking system when we were in college. So I have my bank account during college that I kept to look at every now and then for a budgeting. So I know about that. But a lot of people in the barrio do not own bank accounts. There's probably gonna be about one or two in the barrio who knows how to do that. So, but anyway, I'll tell you what the story about my father, okay? He was a teacher, my mom is a teacher, but they were making stable income. We were able to eat 3 times a day, and you know, we have this decent kind of living. We're able to provide for what we need. But in college days, it was hard. You know how we survived? Okay, this is what I have seen my daddy do. Okay, it is something like an old style. It's actually antiquated type of concept of investment, but it's proven to be very profitable for all those simple people in the barrio. My daddy introduced this, actually. He was the first one who introduced this kind of style of investment. He had owned a piggery, small piggery. And then after that, when the mama pig will have piglets, he will disperse all those piglets all over the locality. And those people love it so much because they do not have to come up with the capital of buying a piglet. Right now, I think the pig is about 2,500 to about 3,000 per piglet. That's how much it costs. So that's about $50 to $75 a pig. Now, what happened is when those piglets will grow and have babies, so what they have actually, when the mama pig has piglets, they're gonna have to split the number of piglets. Okay, it's half and half. Now, if it's a male piglet, if they're gonna go and decide to butcher it, then my daddy will have to own half of that, and they can have half. And actually, it's gonna be divided into two, including the intestines and the brain of the pig, okay? So I'm wondering, sometimes they would say, okay, I'm gonna go next barrio and get my share for my pig, because I have about maybe 20 kilos of meat there. I said, well, I was just wondering that kind of idea. I really did not understand, because there's probably about 10 of them sometimes, 10 of them, and then every month he has a little bit of something out of that investment that he has. Another type of investment my daddy had was keeping about 1 or 2 boar hogs, meaning to say those male pigs that has not been castrated. So it's being used for breeding the female pigs around the locality. And he usually get a good one, which is, I remember when he would say he's so proud of owning a Duroc Jersey kind of pig, and he lend them to the locality. And then when those pigs that they have, the female pigs, will start having litter, the first litter you know, he will get about at least one out of those. He will have a share of one piglet. Now, what happened is those piglet again will be dispersed. We do not even eat those piglets. We only get the money when they will sell it or sell the meat, and or they're gonna give us a little share, and that's the time when we can eat good meat. But otherwise, that's how we thrive through college. And he kept on doing that till maybe he was in like 80 years old. And sometimes we use those for lechon, you know. So that's how my daddy was able to invest. That's antiquated type of investment. There's no bank even involved there. And another thing that he was involved with, our prenda system is a leasehold system. Like he would lease like maybe 6 hectares of land or something like, or 2 hectares of land. Instead of the local folks borrowing from the bank, they will lease that to my daddy, you know, and then in return, my daddy would lend them cash. And the only interest he's gonna get is able to get the crops in that land like every 3 months. And they can redeem that in a certain time. Like for example, 5 years, they're gonna put that in contract. And you will be the one to get the proceed of that land. So after it's redeemed, then you can give the title back to those people. Sometimes people do not even want to redeem because they do not have the capital. So what you need to do is, some people are so bad though, because if after 5 years, if they're not going to be able to redeem them, then they would get the land back. And my daddy never did that. So I'm glad though, because that's really bad. I would not have been happy if he did that. But sometimes those people who own the place that was leased, they're gonna redeem that, but they're gonna have to release it for much more money to another person. And sometimes my daddy would just add some amount and they can extend the lease. And it's a never-ending process. Sometimes they are successful redeeming the property themselves. So, and it happened to us several times. Another investment is investing on Carabao. Owning Carabao is really profitable. The thing is, you can plow your field, and then after that, a farmer can actually go to another farm of another owner and plow their farm and do it again over and over and over. And they can plow it maybe for 600 pesos to do the whole entire field, like maybe a hectare or less than that. It depends on their contract. So they can make money out of doing that. Another one is investing it on raising a cow. You do not have to own a herd to make money in the Philippines. You can do it very, very little and invest it on a cow, maybe buy it for about 300 pesos, $300, equivalent to 15,000 pesos in the Philippines. That was about 10 years ago. That's the price. And then resell it later on when it matures. Or you can disperse it, something like that. And you can make about 40,000 pesos for each cow. So if you own 5 of them, meaning to say you have about 25,000 pesos for each cow as a gain. That beats the bank. So for a foreigner, maybe it's not much profit, but if you're gonna multiply it by 5, meaning to say you have 125,000, which is over $2,000 for 5 cows. So that's a lot of money for a Filipino. So another thing is investing on children. How do you do that? When the parents provide for the education of the children in college. And it costs a lot of money, but they invest on them thinking that the child would graduate in college and would go off maybe and would have a good job. And every month they're gonna send money to them monthly and pay for their medication, for their food and anything that they need when they get old. And then that is an assurance they will have some money in the future by investing on the kid. The only time that I have problem with that and I do not condone is when an OFW or a child going out the country and work hard, that he has to support each one of those people around in the immediate family. It's okay to give some assistance, maybe one time, but not support your nieces and nephews, giving them laptops, telephone, branded here, branded there, and provide for their luxury. That's when I have a problem, when you start enabling all your family members. Parents, I don't have problem with. I really do not. But talking about nieces and nephews, your cousins, as well as and so on and so forth, that's when I have a problem. There should be a limit on this. It should not be going on for the longest time. And it has to start from you guys. You have to set some sort of limit and do not oblige your children to do the same, okay? So that the cycle of this abuse to our family is gonna stop, really has to stop. And each one has to be aware of that kind of problem. Till this day, that's still practice. I'm so sad to hear that, but it has to stop some way or another, okay? Guys, thank you so much for giving me the time to talk. I know I talk too much, but sometimes I have to say something so that people will be aware where we are at. And I know you know that, but sometimes it takes guts to say no to people. Thank you, and may you have a good future and a good planning, and stay focused on that goal, because you can retire comfortably as long as you work hard. Bye-bye. Good day.